Welcome to Riverbend Talent on WBGZ. Brought to you by the Howlin Music Company.
That's right, Lydia. Riverbend Talent on the Big Z. Brought to you by the Howlin Music Company, Mr. Matt Van Boers of Macias Insurance, and Michael Kreider of Farmers Insurance. My name is MF Dennis Laird. We have an even bigger MF co-host, Pigpen, with us. And the king of the blues, forget about Motown. Forget about gospel. He'll do whatever he has to do. He's still the king of the blues. Big George Brock Jr. Sing us a MF song, my friend. By MF, I mean mouthful. I don't know what you thought, but we're all full of air.
I thought you were thinking. Sure. I was thinking Mighty Fun.
I don't be it too.
How's it going, Mr. Big George Brock? Been a while since I've seen you.
Been hanging in there, fellas. You know, I'm glad to see that things are starting to reopen since the last time we were together. You know, everything was looking kind of dreary, but right now, you know, looks like, you know, slowly but surely.
We are on the upswing.
On the upswing.
Yeah, so getting back out and doing your thing, that's got to feel good.
Oh, yeah. It feels pretty good. I give a shout-out to the folks up north in Grafton. They kept us going pretty good throughout the, you know, transition of the COVID. But, you know, it's good to hear that, you know, Belleville's reopening. Everidgeville, I'm still waiting to hear from some folks over there. But, but slowly but surely, you know, Alton, you know, Shea Maryland's getting back up the swing. Yeah, so it's just good to see everybody, you know, getting back up on their feet.
That's right. And they're kicking it off already right here in town with the Sea Shanty Sing-Along right down there at Morrison's Irish Pub. You know, tonight is also the night market and a big show down there tonight. Mm-hmm. You got Biff Gnarly and the Reptilians at 7. You got the Mind Frames at 8, and you got Distant Eyes at 9 o'clock with the Midwest Maui, like the Flame Guy artist.
Yeah.
He's going to be bouncing around in between all that at Pocket Park, right there next to Jacoby Arts Center in downtown Alton. That's tonight. That's going to be big.
That's going to be fun.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
The weather seems to be holding off tonight, and we'll just keep our fingers crossed.
Beautiful.
It's only going to rain for a second if it starts, it looked like to me, but...
Yeah, that's just enough to cool everybody down. Right. Make you want to dance.
Also tonight we got Borderline, 7 o'clock at Fast Eddie's Acoustic Open Mic, 7 o'clock at the Conservatory in Alton, the Alton Municipal Brass Quintet, 8 o'clock at Riverview Park in Alton, Open Mic with Everhart and the Light, 6 o'clock at Bakers and Hale and Godfrey, Scott and Michelle, 7 to 8 at Music in the Park, Central Park in Bethalto, Josh Werfel, 6 to 10 at Locke's Brick House in Bethalto. Grafton Music in the Park. That's going to be moved to tomorrow night. It's normally on Thursday night, but they're going to move it to tomorrow night from 7 to 9 with the Owls playing then, you know, right before the fireworks up in Grafton.
Yeah, that'd be a good time.
Mm-hmm. Robbie Miles, 7 to 10 at George's Local Brew in Jerseyville tonight. Dueling Pianos. That's Mike Sondergerger and Cameron Brown, 7:30 at the Wild E Theater in Edwardsville. They're back at doing it finally.
Nice.
Pussycat and the Swallowtail, 6 to 9 at Big Daddy's in Edwardsville. And I'm still waiting to see Big George Brock at Big Daddy's. That'd be a big show.
Big George Brock at Big Daddy's. Right. It makes perfect sense.
It sounds like good times for me.
Hey, people at Big Daddy's, let's make that happen. I don't know anybody at Big Daddy's. They're going, I have to listen to you.
The East Side Sliders review, 6 o'clock at Old Harold Brewery in Collinsville. I bet those guys know hamburgers.
The East Side Sliders, I like it.
You better with that name. I'm just saying.
It's no Pussycat and the Swallowtails, but it's a good name.
Dave Mendoza and Greg Dennis, 7 o'clock at Deutsch Village Inn in Pontoon Beach tonight. Mo Pleasure, 6 o'clock at Patrick's in Granite City. And Steve Klein, 6 to 9 at Prairie Inn in Dorsey. And that's just Thursday night, folks.
That is a decent Thursday night going on in the river.
It's a lot on a Thursday night. That sounds good.
Yeah.
It's like you say, so nice to see it picking up and these pages start filling back up and a whole page of nothing but Thursday night on this side of the river.
You know something I was thinking about when I seen that show down at the Pocket Park with Biff Gnarly and the mind frames.
Yeah.
And Distant Eyes, I started thinking, that's that old basement scene that we had right here on the air, right?
With Whopper.
We were talking about them before they were in bars. Now they're older guys. They're reaching 30, so they was in their early 20s then, and now they're running things right here downtown Alton as far as, they got the studio there. They got the conservatory, the old bakery, Pocket Park, doing some stuff down there now, and it's just great to, and you can go back and listen to that whole thing unfold right on our radio show. So that says something about how long we've been around, or did it happen that quick?
It seems like it was quick, because it seems like just a couple days ago I started doing this show with you.
Yeah, I
know. but then again, I don't really pay attention to much.
So it's cool to see like the little Riverbend Talent family of guests like grow into something bigger right here in downtown Alton. Now, talking about a big family, Big George has a big family. How many brothers and sisters you got?
42.
42. It's still a record. It's got to be a record. Crazy. Is that in Guinness?
42.
Seriously.
It look to most of us that is a record, but to a blues man that's normal.
Well,
Howlin Wolf's family's got to be big. This has been a long time ago since we talked about this. This was years ago when we talked about your brothers and sisters. But if I remember right, you said like in your siblings, in your group of siblings, isn't there like 3 sets of triplets?
Yeah, his first wife, he had 3 sets of triplets.
Just 3 sets of triplets. There's 9 kids.
Right. It was the baseball squad.
With a couple on the bench, man.
Oh, yeah. And then, a lot of twins and, singles out there along the way. And, he was a Rolling Stone. He was. God bless him.
Self-proclaimed king of the blues and father of 43 children.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And he grew up in Mattson, right? Mississippi,
Mattson.
Where everybody grew up, right? Muddy, B.B. King, Howlin Wolf.
Oh, yeah.
Those are your neighbors.
Those all were neighbors. Those are all the neighbors. Yeah. All the neighbors. Sonny Boy, Bryce Miller, who used to go with Monty, and yeah, it was.
Man, I could just imagine
Sonny
what kind
Boy.
of barbecue with all them kids and all them bluesmen. What kind of barbecue you guys had on the weekends?
What kind of barbecue they had?
Yeah, your dad. Yeah.
That's some mighty fine of picking and singing you boys are doing here.
Well, the Friday night fish fries where Muddy, ran into my dad and then took him under his wing because Howlin Wolf had fired him a little bit before that. He was with Wolf, and then, he was pretty much road manager, roadie, and, he's doing his thing and stuff, sitting on the side. And the woman, they knew he can play harp, so they said, hey, I want to hear Big George sing a song. Well, the woman that asked happened to be Howlin Wolf's old lady. So, needless to say, he did the song, did fine, got over great with the crowd. And at the end of the night, Howlin Wolf said, well, hey, let me holler at you. Here go your money. I don't need you no more. And he said, well, why not? He said, what did I do wrong? He said, did I mess up or something? He said, no, anytime my old lady want to hear another man sing, it's time for you to go. So that was the end of his tenure with Wolf and on to Muddy. So it was, and the rest is history.
Yeah, like your dad would end up here. I guess that's why your roots the family moved up this way.
Right, that's how I ended up in St. Louis with Muddy and them coming up north. Well, of course, I know Mr. Townsend was already here. Petey Wheatstraw and all those cats were here before my dad got here. But when they migrated up north, then, he decided to stay. Muddy and them kept going. They migrated on up to Chicago.
Right.
And the rest is history for them. So, but Albert, Albert came and stayed in St. Louis for a while. Mm-hmm. Little Milton was here for a while. Of course, Oliver Sane and Ike Turner,
right?
And all those greats. Well, a lot of people say what you want to say about Ike, but Ike was the genius. Mm-hmm. And when it comes to music, so
we just had an interview with Bonnie Bramlett, who worked as an Ikette for about a year when she was like 17 or something.
15,
like
I think
15.
she was. Her parents had to sign papers.
Yeah. And she was saying that she had to be taken off that tour because they wouldn't allow, white girls to travel with black men across state lines.
Yeah. Right.
So
that's what got Chuck caught up. Mm-hmm. Traveling with a minor across state, supposedly a minor.
Different time.
Yeah, different time. Yeah.
So that's pretty amazing. But I still sit here and think about 42 brothers and sisters. Do you ever go to a family reunion where you got like 10 cousins and you're trying to figure out who 2 of them are at least?
Yeah.
I mean, you got to show up at a family reunion going, huh? Who are all these people?
No reunion. Like I said, I have met not even half.
Yeah.
So, and out of all of them, I'm the only one that I know of that plays music or does music. So
wow.
So
yeah, they have to run like a convention center or something. we need to order 20,000 T-shirts for this family.
Well, I mean, the park in Sykeston, they had reunions down there, and my uncle Jack Johnson used to be with the Jelly Roll Kings. He had his own band, and then his son Super Chicken, which is very popular down south, out of Mississippi. My cousin, they all would come and play and stuff. So we had, down in Sykeston was the main spot, and everybody come out to the park. We had a little park down there, and everybody come out there.
Sykeston, Missouri?
Sykeston.
Home of the Throwed Roll.
Yeah, Throwed Roll. Leverage.
Just giving a little love to Sykeston.
He talked to us about starting out playing some guitar when you're really young, doing some Bo Diddley and getting in trouble and having your guitar thrown down the hall, right?
Yes. My grandfather was not a blues lover. He was a Christian guy, and he didn't believe in all that. So I was at home. They were sending me to one of the sponsors, Halpin. I was going there getting guitar lessons, and I'm learning my ABCs and, learning the chords and stuff. And I was at home, and my uncle, my grandma, my mom's mom, her brother, my uncle, and Uncle Spearman, and he used to, hey, come here, boy, let me show you these notes, these chords, you playing that there, but don't worry about what they telling you. Learn it, I'm hearing these blues chords, and I'm like, oh, that sounds pretty cool. So, but let me learn how to, instead of me learning the proper way first and then coming back to it, I'm trying to dip right into it. So, and I was kind of a fast learner, so of course, when my Bo Diddley, I heard that was like, oh, that's right up my alley, and that's easy, open E, and I can just go to work,
The old hand job.
Yeah. And I was playing, and, I wasn't paying attention, man. The whole neighborhood could hear it. And I was in my room, and the window was open. I'm just going at it. And next thing I know, the door, boom, kicks in. My grandfather, turn that stuff off. And I'm like, uh-oh, I'm in trouble now. He grabbed my guitar and threw it down the hallway. You're through. That's it. No more lessons for you. So that was the end of my guitar career.
I would imagine you didn't see your dad very often, though, because he was traveling and playing all the time.
No, I didn't get to see, when I was a child. Really like 2 years old, infancy from, my mom used to go, my aunt, with her would be over there in the city. They would always go to the club, and they'd stop there and, they'd jaw jack or whatever. I was there. I couldn't tell you, but I don't remember. But as I got older, then, that's when I, rekindled a relationship with him when I came home from the service.
Yeah.
In 87.
Yeah. Thank you for your service. And so since 87 and up until he passed away recently, you played with him and played all over the country too with him, right?
Yes.
You were down in Texas and Indiana, a couple places like that. I remember you talking to us about,
Oh, yeah.
I remember the story of Stevie Ray Vaughan laying on the porch.
Oh, yeah.
In Indiana, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That was you know, a lot of people say I don't talk about it like unless you guys bring it
Right.
up when we talk or
We're bad
something
about
like
that.
You know what I'm saying?
I told you we're
but,
in-house.
but I'm saying, you know, I normally don't say much about it, you know, because people look, you know, at you. But see, I'm a walking encyclopedia
Right.
of stuff.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So,
42 brothers and sisters, you've definitely heard a lot of stories.
I mean, you know, Indianapolis, you know, one summer day, you know, it was hot, you know, I see this little scraggly little white guy sitting on the porch, you know, and he was hanging with Mr. Rachel. And Mr. Rachel, Hank Rachel, well, Yank Rachel was a world-class, world-famous blues mandolin player. So, you know, that speaks for itself. I don't have to say nothing else. His name speaks for itself. So him and my auntie were an item. So every year when I would go over there to visit, sometime twice a year, I would run into Mr. Rachel. Well, never, you know, at that time I wasn't really crazy about no music, but, you know, because my guitar was busted and everything, so I wasn't looking into music at that time, so didn't know that, you know, I could have tapped his brain and some things for some music, you know, theory. You know, so I see this guy there, you know, every summer I go there for like 3 years, you know, I see the same little cat, you know, and I'm like, man, who is this dude? Oh, that's Stevie, don't pay him no attention. You know, and I didn't think of it Stevie. Well, as time went on, and then he went and got himself together and sobered up and cleaned himself up. Now, all of a sudden, he's a phenom. And I was like, I know this guy. And then I said, that's the same guy was on my auntie's porch and Stevie Ray Vaughan. So
I stepped over that guy before.
I used to step over him all the time. He'd be so high and drunk, you know. But I mean, you know, but I never paid it, you know, no attention, you know, because at that time I wasn't really
into the music.
Yeah, into the music like that. Oh, I wish I had been.
Well, you would have had a chance to tap into a lot of expertise back then. Yes. And instead of just being the self-proclaimed encyclopedia of the blues,
I would have been. So, you know, I mean, this was one of those instances, you know, to have a chance to meet folks, you know, Junior Wells, I got a chance to meet at Teresa's Lounge in Chicago. I was 16. My mom, who was my influence, was, you know, on the blues at the time. That was where I got my influence from. And she took me to the club, and I sat there and I watched him come in. He looked like he just got off the fishing bank, had on some overalls and brogan boots and a straw hat and stuff. Walked up to the bandstand. The band was up there on the stage. He walks up to the stage, grabs the microphone. 1, 2, you know what to do. Hey! Then they fell right in, right on time. You know, I knew who it was when I heard him sing as Junior Wells. So, you know, I said, wow, you know, got a chance to meet him and, you know, rub elbows with him.
Yeah.
And then back to the fishing boat he went.
yeah, back to the bank. Back to the bank.
Oh, man.
Yeah, we're talking to Big George Rock Jr. If you're just tuning in, plays with the NGK band. You guys are up at the loading dock on Saturday, right?
Yes, for the holiday weekend.
I think it said 5 o'clock start. Is that right?
5 o'clock. Oh, yeah.
So that leads right up to the fireworks.
Right.
So you got big fireworks, and then you got little fireworks after you.
Yes, right. Yeah, you can say that. and let me give a shout out to my fans. There's a lot of folks around Belleville area and in that area, Shiloh area. They come to the loading dock, they come to the winery, and they say, oh, we want you to come. Listen, if you want Big George Jr., the NGK band, to come in your area, you let your people know. We're on Facebook. NGK band is on Facebook. Let them know. And tell your favorite venue to give us a call, and we would love to come and perform for you, because I hear it every time we go. You know, it's like, why can't you come? Why don't you come to this place? Right. Why don't you come to this place? All you have to do is just let the vendors know and have them reach out to us. We're not hard. Somebody mentioned us to the Blues Cruise in St. Louis. I got an email yesterday. So it works. So, you know, so they want us to come on the Becky Thatcher, so they're working something out for us to go there on the cruise. So, No, it is. It is what it is. We're the best kept secret in the whole region. The NGK band. I mean, it speaks for itself. The music speaks for itself.
And in addition to you growing up around all these legends and being steeped in the blues, and not just blues, but gospel,
but gospel too,
and rhythm, and a lot of it's your band. Also,
Now those cats,
heavy cats. Right,
you got hundreds of years of knowledge. Nephew Davis bass. The man's Hall of Fame guy. We at the Blues Museum. In the Wall of Fame they got set up over there. He's in there. My drummer's in there. So David Timms.
He played with Chuck Berry.
No, but that was Keith. Keith played with Chuck. But David has played with numerous bands around in the city. Then Michael Harris, who's our guitar player, was with Lil Anthony and the Imperials for some time back in the day. And then with Marcel Strong before he passed away, and Oliver Sang. So, I've been blessed to be around a lot of talented musicians. I guess you could say I'm spoiled because when I first came, out here, it was Mondin. Everybody thought I was a part of the Mondin band, which I was the fifth member. Like Billy Preston was the fifth member of the Beatles. I was the fifth member of the Mondin band. Let people say. So then of course I worked with Soulard Blues Band. And shout out to those guys. They'll be at the loading dock Sunday on 4th of July. So who knows? Big George might make a cameo appearance up there to let them know I'm still the king.
Self-proclaimed king of the blues.
Right.
You reminded me when you brought up some of your fans, trying to get a hold of venues and, letting them know that they'd like to have you in there. And I've seen that happen with my own eyes. It works perfectly well. And, at our website, cottonmouth.org, there's a whole list of venues and stuff like that. And you reminded me, though, that I've been wanting to each week to thank our subscribers because we don't get out and say on YouTube, hey, subscribe, hit the notification bell, all that. This is all just people that decided to do it on their own. And that's really cool to me. And I just wanted to definitely thank our subscribers. We're up to like 220.
Wow.
Okay.
So, it's turned into a thing. And, like I said, we're not pushing for that stuff. But what we do like to do is for you to go to cottonmouth.org, which is completely free. There's no charge. Click on a link and go check out a live performance. That's all we're asking. Because that's what keeps it all going.
Yeah, and it's so much. It's like just a big pool of talent. In this area. That's what makes me stay on my A game.
To stay the king, you got to stay on your game.
That's right. That's right. You can't hold that scepter if you don't have the right stuff.
Yeah, and you talked about word of mouth earlier and how important that is, and this is a perfect example of that. Right?
Yes, it is.
So you can be the guy that turns your friends on. You know how much you want to be the guy to turn someone on, right? So
I sure do.
You subscribers,
go see Big George.
The people that are listening every week, you can be that by just clicking on cottonmouth.org when you're around people that are wondering what's going on and fill them in, and they'll be like, where do you get this information? You keep it secret. I don't care. You can just look like a genius. I don't mind as long as they're showing up to live performances, right? So,
Exactly.
How do you know all this information? I know everything. As long as I've got my phone in my pocket.
So let's talk about Friday night.
Friday
here. Yeah, they got the pianos going at the Raging Cajun every Friday and Saturday night. They're doing a little GoFundMe down there at the Raging Cajun. You can get it through our website, cottonmouth.org, or go to the Raging Cajun Facebook page. We always talk about Gary Cooper on drums each week down there. Apparently he was in a motorcycle accident, and they're trying to raise some funds for him for medical costs. So I wanted to point that out. He's doing fine, recovering, but they need some help with bills. And after going through COVID, a guy making money playing live music and then has an accident, boy, that's a double trouble, right?
Yes, it is.
So wanted to point that out. Hollywood duo 2 to 6 and Up All Night 7 to 11 at Fast Eddie's Bon Air in Alton. Tom Bertolino 7 to 11 at the Lodge at Lovejoy. Noble 7 o'clock at Shea Maryland's in Alton. Soulshine Grooves 7 to 11 at Baker's and Hale and Godfrey. Travis Holtz 8 to 11 at Locke's Brick House in Bethalto. Check this out, Pigpen, past guest here. This is Robert Ninja Media presents their new movie, The Sleepless Unrest, a premiere.
With Potty Mouth.
Oh, yeah. Potty Mouth is in there. The directors are Bear and Kendall Welpton, along with paranormal investigators Brian Murray and...
Potty Mouth.
Go ahead. Say the rest of her name. Potty Mouth, Rochelle Stratton. We say that because she had a potty mouth on her show.
Yeah, she was.
It surprised us because
Because she's on TV, right. You would think that she knew how to control it better, but that's okay.
Cool people though, super cool people.
Yeah, super nice people and a lot of fun. A very interesting guest to have on.
So the movie's about the real conjuring. The homeowners Corey and Jennifer Heinzen will be there with a Q&A after the show, along with probably Brian and Rochelle. So that's at 7 o'clock at the Wild E. A movie premiere this Friday night from locals, man. That's cool.
Yeah, and people who have been on our show.
Right.
Making a movie. There you go.
Man, this show's kind of going places.
Yeah, well, people who have been on this show might be going places. I ain't going nowhere.
Matt Van Vorst is going places. CS Insurance, right?
Oh, well, he's going somewhere.
That's good. Thanks for thanking him.
I don't know where he's going.
Right?
Hopefully he's going to insure me.
Wait till you hear what Michael Kreider's doing this weekend. We'll get to that in a minute.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yeah, Strangers Friday night 6 to 9 at Big Daddy's in Edwardsville. Skylark Brothers 6 o'clock at Reese's Brewery in Edwardsville. I think I messed up that Tom Bertolino earlier. I think he's at Old Herald this weekend. I just put that in the wrong spot, so might want to double check that one. I'll try to fix it later. Adam Gaffney.
Check the website.
Yeah, it's
not
ringing right for me. I could be wrong right now, but that's okay. Let your mind go and just enjoy it. Adam Gaffney, 7 o'clock at the Cabin at Judy Creek and Glen Carbon. I said Adam Gaffney, 7 o'clock at the Cabin, Creek, Judy Carbon. Okay.
Trial and Error, 9:30 p.m. at Patrick's in Granite City.
Reel it in.
And then we got the Backwoods Burden, 7 to 10 p.m. at George's local brew up in Jerseyville. Grafton Music in the Park, we've got the Owls, and this is 7 to 9 p.m., followed by the fireworks. So there you go. That's going to be happening on Friday evening. Also, Scott and Carl, 6 p.m. at the Loading Dock Friday evening.
Wade Trent, 3 to 7 at Aries in Grafton. Sonic Tonic, 7 to 11 at Grafton Pub. Roaming Home, 7 to 11 at the Oyster Bar in Grafton. Money Shot, that's our sponsor, Michael Kreider. 6 o'clock at the Yellow Dog in Warden, but that's not the show I'm talking about.
Oh, I know the show you're talking about.
A little foreplay, right? No, actually, that's the name of the next band.
Okay.
Foreplay.
They are at Wild Pickens in Chesterfield, 6 to 10 p.m. Foreplay on Saturday, or Friday night, I'm sorry. And then finally on Friday night, Flipside, 9 p.m. at Sweetwater Saloon in New Douglas, Illinois.
That's just Friday.
That is a good Friday going on.
And, people are taking this.
Not really Good Friday, but why do they call Good Friday? I mean, why do Christians call that day that their Savior was killed Good Friday?
Because they get the day off.
Bad
so that's
Friday.
Good. It's good, though. You get the day off.
Easter should be good. Good Sunday. I don't know. Anyway, enough of my religious philosophies. Let's get back to something with way more substance. Yeah. I get most of my political beliefs and all of my religious beliefs from The Simpsons. So there's not a lot going on up here.
So do you do the booking, the guys from NGK, or do you have a manager? How's that
Well,
work?
we have I do most of the booking, but when it's something for out of state or out of that more regional, Donnie Lanier handles it for me, pretty much. Big Donnie handles that for me. So
I was just curious about that because I know you do play around the country, and
Yes.
yeah. So a lot of kids listening in wondering, how's Big George get his gigs? So
because he knows how to sing.
There's
that has a lot to do with it. Well, it's good to have a team put together, that's in your interest. That's looking out for you, and good to have friends to help you to do that.
And don't you think that the more you play out, the more gigs kind of come your way because you're out there and people see you and say, "Hey, how can I contact you?"
Right, exactly. I mean, all of the birthdays, wedding receptions, all that stems from your live performances. Mm-hmm. So,
you forgot bar mitzvahs.
Well, yeah, and polkas,
all of that.
Oh, yeah.
Those private gigs are sometimes the easier ones with bigger money.
Yeah,
not always, but sometimes they're.
You come across a few of those that you only be there for maybe an hour or two, and and it's like this is what we need.
And they pay you righteously to be there for just a couple hours. I won't play at frats. Those guys break your stuff.
No. Some things you just have to have a handle on. But it's there's some things, some irons in the fire right now. Like I said, I can't discuss it right at the moment because they haven't come to fruition. But for some things for me to be traveling, abroad for a while. So I'm actually now I can say I know I'm on my way to Iowa. So Des Moines, Iowa, and Ames, Iowa. I'll be in that area the next week or two. So I'm going to visit some family members, but I'm up there, and they're being alerted that they have a
self-proclaimed king of the
blues. Well, they know they have a blues man coming to town, so I'm gonna see. We're waiting to get some responses back from a couple of the little venues up there and stuff. So, I've heard some of the people play up there, and it's gonna. I hope I can do what I did at the Slippery Noodle up there. So when I was in Indianapolis, so. That was a great story. Right?
Roll in and take over.
Well, it was kind of cool. I mean, the way it happened, I just walked in on an open mic night on a Wednesday night. And let me say, shout out if anybody's listening from there in Indianapolis. Let me give a shout out to the owner. He passed away during COVID. He was, I think, 46, 48, something like that, the owner of the club. And he passed away, so I want to give big kudos, shout out to them. But those, when I was there, I went to the open mic night on Wednesday night. And I just walked in, I signed the book, Big George Brock Jr., harmonica, St. Louis harmonica. They want to know where you're from, what instrument you play. So I signed the book. I went back in the corner and sat back there by myself. So I see this guy comes up and he says, "Hey, man," he said, "Are you Big George Jr.?" I said, "Yes." He said, "We're going to let you play with the house band." So there's Gordon Bonneman. I can't remember right off the top of my head what's the name of the band. And I said, "Okay, fine," so. I got up there, I did 3 songs, got a standing ovation, the place was packed. Kind of puts you in the mind of BB's Jazz, Blues, and Soups. Nice. That's how big the place is.
Okay.
2 big stages, one in the front, one in where we was in the main stage with the balcony and all that. Got a standing ovation. I went back to my table, sat down. So the manager or the general manager working that night, he comes over to me, he says, "Hey, man," he said, "Look, I've got some VIP people over here, man." And he said that they really digging what you're doing. He said, "Could you go back up and do a couple more songs?" I said, "I didn't come to work, man. I just come to have fun like everybody else." He said, "Don't worry. I got your drinks. I got your food. Whatever you need, I got you. Right. Just go back up." And then I went back up. I did 3 songs, got a standing ovation, and walked right back to my seat. So the young lady that was serving the area in my area came over to my table and she said, I've been working here 10 years plus. I ain't never seen them ask nobody to come up and do an encore before. And I've been here over 10 years. She said, you're the first one that they ever asked to do that. So needless to say, I left. Didn't have any CDs at the time. I came back. That's when I hooked up with Mon and them and we did a little something. I went to Texas. And I came back for a funeral. And I went back, did the same exact thing. Signed the book, sat down. Only this time I had about 50 CDs with me, from the one that I did with the Detonators in Texas and the one I did with Mon. And I sat there like I did. They said, hey, you Big George Jr., different group of people. They said, well, we're going to put a band together for you. So, because you're from St. Louis. Okay. I got up there, I did 3 songs. Place went nuts. So, needless to say, I sold every one of them CDs, so evidently some must have did right that night. And then we got invited. I took Mondin and Paul, Tempo leading. We went back over there and we did a show. And they promised me Friday and Saturday night, but, things happen as they do and, things get lost in the shuffle. So, but
they're lost.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then COVID didn't help any either because they were making contact with me to come back.
Right.
And then the COVID hit. So that just ruined everything. Then Dad passed and all this, everything just fell out.
Yeah. That's all right. Just like Grafton does every time there's a flood. You bounce right back, don't
exactly.
you?
Yeah. If you want to keep striving, you got to keep bouncing back. You don't have a choice.
All I can think is slippery noodle. That's all I've been thinking over here. Slippery noodle.
The slippery noodle. The oldest blues bar in the state of Indiana.
Actually, what I was thinking about is I was wondering if you ever made it to Chicago and played.
They're working on something for that.
Okay.
That's something
you probably roadied for your dad up there or something. At least.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Back in the day.
I didn't play. I was more roadie back then. I
you gotta live the blues before you can play the blues.
Exactly. And I was living it too.
You gotta live the blues and pay your dues.
2 years of sitting on the side.
Yeah. Hearing about how your dad's buddy Muddy Waters invented electricity.
Oh man! I mean, wow! You guys have been around, so you know about what I'm talking about. But those in the radio listening land, it's you have to use your imagination because it's literally 2 years of just sitting there being frustrated because you can't sing, you can't play, and then just out of the sky blue, it's like, all right, son, come here now. I want you to sing this song. Don't play, just sing this song. Okay. That was it.
Yeah.
And then that was off to the races then.
Then he got bit by the bug.
Bit by the bug.
And it was I'm a Man, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grow up, son.
Yeah.
Here's your song.
Yeah, this is it. And then he said, let's do it.
Don't do too good because I don't want you.
Well, what really shocked him what really shocked Dad was that my harmonica playing, that I caught on so fast to the way his sound was, because I was self-taught. So I listen to Sonny Boy, and Wolf, which is really who I patterned myself after. But I was taking a little bit of Sonny Boy, a little bit of Wolf, mixing it.
Wrong with that.
And then Big George, so he's like, well, let me fine tune it. And once I got to his little style, and it could become my own, and that's it. The rest this is history.
There you go.
How about Willie Brown? Isn't that the harp player from the Crossroads, right?
Yeah,
played with Robert
Willie
Johnson.
Brown, Willie Brown.
I don't think
I want to say
brought him up.
No, not too much about Willie Brown. I mean, you hear folklore about him and stuff, but I never.
He can make the train sound.
Oh yeah. Well, there's a lot of guys out there that can do a lot of things. With that harp that people don't even know.
They mentioned Willie in the song Crossroads, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
It is the legend. So, hey, we should roll through
Let's do
what's
it.
happening on
Let's
Saturday
mention
night
some-
because
our local talent, river
yeah.
band talent, right here.
there's plenty of it to go around.
Well, we start Saturday morning around here.
Saturday morning.
Yeah, that's right. The
I
Alton
don't like to
Farmers
get up too early.
You got to get some veggies in you at the Alton Farmers and Artisans Market. Get some art while you're down there. And this week they got Casting Ruins playing.
Nice.
So that's from 8 a.m. until noon at the corner of Landmarks Boulevard and Henry in downtown Alton. Good time every time at the Alton Farmers Market. Hey, Buzz is playing this weekend.
Buzz.
That's
The
right.
Big Shake Daddy, 7 to 11, before and after fireworks at St. Mary's in Alton. So there you go. 7 to 11, going to take a break for the fireworks right in the middle there.
Right. That's continuing also at the Independence Day rooftop party with Flip the Frog. I'm wearing their T-shirt tonight. And the Lady Luck Party Band. That's a party right there.
Yeah.
3 o'clock
time.
at Bluff City Grill in Alton. You ever play with Jeff Benjamin, Big George?
When I was with Mondin,
Yeah.
yeah, we played together a few times. Yeah, he's cool. Yeah, I
he
like
was
Jeff.
good. We let him slide.
You let him slide. What's up, Jeffrey?
Yeah, we're bigger Andy fans. I think we mentioned that.
Look,
So-
I'm voting Benjamin against Benjamin.
The truth is, the one you talk the least about is the one you like the most. You know what I mean? The least good about it.
Yeah.
So Troy Taylor sells out another dinner and spirits, man. He is undefeated so far.
Yeah, sold
At
out
44
night after
bucks
night.
a pop, man.
Every time he does it, he sells it out.
Congratulations, man. That's
Good for
so
him.
cool.
Yeah.
At Fast Eddie's, Nate Sickmeyer and company, I believe it's Anthony Nanny, 2 to 6,
Nice.
and Up All Night, 7 o'clock at Fast Eddie's. Skylark Brothers, 4 to 8 at Chubby's on Saturday. And that
Everybody's
leads
raging
right,
for Chubbies.
Yep, leads you right up to the fireworks after the Chubby.
Ooh, then we got
We always mention the pianos at Raging Cage. Of course, live music all weekend at Morrison's. They just don't really post who it is, but just one of the Irish people.
it's the Blarney Man.
I want to point this out. Everhart and Light Rock Band.
All right.
And I don't think Jumpin' Johnny's in that version. So I think that, I don't know. Remember, the last time we mentioned them was with Jumpin' Johnny. So maybe a different bass player. Looked like in the picture. I'm just speculation here.
All right.
Fake news.
Don't know. You know how I'm going to find out? I'm going to go out to Baker's and Hale on Saturday and find out.
7-11, right. Mikey B, 2 to 6, and Jay Hollinger Trio, 8 o'clock at the Locks Brick House in Bethalto on Saturday. They got a DJ down at the franchise, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. Atticad, his name.
All right. All right.
Sit Down and Get Down, 12 to 3, and the Flatliner Band, 7
Nice.
to 11 at the Independence Day in the park at Snyder Park in Brighton on Saturday.
There you go. Then we got Money Shot. Bum, 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 bum. That's
Yeah.
Mr. Michael Kreider, Alex Honky sponsor, our
Right.
engineer.
Right.
His band Money Shot, 6 p.m. at the Tri-County Rod and Gun Club. Good times up there.
More fireworks, of course, up there in Brighton. Overhead Dog, 3 to 7 at Grafton Winery. Flip Slide, 6 to 10 at the Hog Pit in Grafton. NGK,
Who's that?
5 o'clock at the Loading Dock in Grafton.
The one and only.
One and only NG coming to the loading dock this Saturday night. NGK.
NGK.
If you see one band this weekend, make it NGK.
You won't be disappointed.
Yeah. And being up in Grafton on a weekend, there's like so much to do up there. What to do? It's just a great place to spend.
So much
day.
to do.
Oh,
We
yeah.
talked about it last week on here. There's just so much going on in Grafton, and Jake Weber and the Lonesome Drifter is going to be up there this weekend as well. And they talked about taking the bus up from Third Chute right here, Third Chute 2 in Alton, riding the bus up there, and then walking around, and then catching the bus ride back,
Catch the
and
bus ride
that
back.
way you don't have to worry about being too tipsy riding
There
up
you
that
go.
river road.
There
you
you
know?
go. Makes sense. It makes sense.
Get back
And there's so many places they could go. You know, I mean, they could just
walk around. Yeah.
Just go where they want to go.
From bar, as soon as one band's like, and that's it. Thank you for coming out. You're like, I'll walk on down to the next one.
right. Or if they're taking a break or whatever, you can always skedaddle right up the street, and then there's some live entertainment somewhere.
Absolutely.
And the weather's ever changing there, so you might have to head inside somewhere else, and there's probably going to be a band playing there too. So, I mean, you're covered.
But the weather's going to be fantastic.
Oh,
so
yeah,
outdoor at the
so.
loading dock, 5 p.m., the NGK band up in Grafton. Right down the road, Lead Sled, 2 to 6 p.m., and Jake Weber and the Lonesome Drifters, 7 to 11. That's at the Grafton Pub.
Yeah, worth a bite, 7 o'clock at Oyster Bar in Grafton. And let's see, Kurt Copeland and Joel Taylor opening up for Hookie, 3 to 7 at Aries in Grafton.
All right. And
12 o'clock for Kurt Copeland. 3 o'clock for Hookie. Sorry
okay,
about
3
that.
to, yeah, there you go. That's Kurt Copeland and Joey Taylor, 12 p.m., and then Hookie, 3 to 7. That's at Aries Winery. B&B Strings, 6 to 10 p.m. at Wild Pickens out in Chesterfield, Illinois. Laney and Julie, 6 p.m. at the Marina Bar at Holiday Shores in Edwardsville. And then we got Ryan Holting, 7 p.m. at the Cabin at Judy Creek in Glen Carbon. Down and Dirty is going to be at Patrick's in Granite City, 9:30 p.m. on Saturday night. And Squeeze Boxes at the Prairie Inn in Dorsey, 3 p.m. on Saturday. Also, Flipside, 8 p.m. at the Smokehouse in Puron, Illinois. That is all Saturday night.
And then Catfish Willie, 1 to 5. And Plastic Kings, 5 to 9. Plus fireworks at the Long Shot Tiki Bar in Portage de Sioux, Missouri. You been across the river and played over in Portage de Sioux?
Well, by the Lady of the Shrines.
Yeah.
I guess that's the spot you're talking about.
Yeah. They've changed the name
It was
a couple
Tony
times.
LaRusse's
Tony
Cabana Bar.
Yeah.
It's Mike LaRosa.
Yeah, we played there. Well, actually,
I'm a Cardinals fan. Whatever.
Well,
he's a White Sox manager.
I played. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay. To answer the question, yes, I am. Yes, with the Mondin band, I sat in, and then I played with Soulard band over there too. So, yeah, it's a nice spot.
Pigpen and I met Fredbird once. Remember that, Pigpen?
Fredbird.
You smacked him right in the face is what I remember.
That is not how I remember it. I knew he'd say that.
He was dancing with him, and then he punched him right in the
I'd give
beak.
him a high five, Big George.
Okay.
I don't know what he was doing.
A high five in the beak.
We'll say he was only half in the ballpark, that guy.
I had been pre-gaming a long time that day. That's all we're going to say.
Hey, that leads us up to Sunday, and I want to point out that some bars are just closing down and giving their employees the day off Sunday to celebrate Independence Day. So that might be a reason to check the website, too, before you head out, just see if they're open on Sunday. Yeah. So, Pat listens at Chubby's.
Pat, listen, I got a lot of jokes going on there. I've seen Pat listening at Chubby's. I've seen Pat listening to Chubby's. I don't know. Yeah. Everybody's raging at Chubby's. That's all I know. That's their slogan that we just gave them last week. So there you go. Pat Liston, one of the Liston brothers,
right,
that whose mama had all that pride so many years ago. So good to get him back around town again.
Right, 4 to 7 at Chubby's in Alton on Sunday.
Riley Holtz and Company, 1 to 5 p.m. And then Naked Soul, 6 to 10 p.m. That is at Fast Eddie's Bon Air.
Alton Municipal Band with vocalist David Gubert, 7 o'clock at Haskell Park in Alton. Money Shot, 1 to 5.
And then,
right,
dun, dun, dun,
opening up for the legendary What Dreams Are Made Of.
Hatchet.
Right, that's what dreams are made of right there. Even though it's a cover. Right.
Even though it's a cover.
Sometimes covers are better than the original. That one there, I'd take either one.
Oh, you know, as a fan of the Grateful Dead, the world's biggest cover band ever, I love covers.
Yeah.
You go to a Dead show, and you go see 5 Dead shows in a row, and they'd play 3 of their own songs, and they'd play all their favorites.
So, yeah, cool that our sponsor, Michael Kreider, getting to open up for the legendary Molly Hatchet. And that's at Roper's Regal Beagle on their new stage in Godfrey, 7 to 9 on the 4th of July.
Yeah, shout out to Scott Roper on that. Nice job bringing Molly Hatchet to town, Mr. Roper. Fine job.
And you know what else? It's free, I'm pretty sure.
I believe it. Yeah. Well, it's the cost of food and drink while you're there. Exactly. So
check out the new stage out there. And I like Gator Country. That's my song. You remember that one?
I don't remember that one.
He lists off all the old Southern rock bands.
Oh, yeah.
And talks about how he's from Florida.
Jacksonville. No.
Well, I keep saying he. I'm referencing whoever wrote the lyrics.
You're referencing Molly Hatchet.
Which guy's Molly?
Which one of you is Liner Skyner?
I asked Michael Kreider if Molly was coming to town, and he said, yeah, it was free.
I'd take some free Molly.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
Molly.
What are we talking about? Good golly, Miss Molly.
Good golly, Miss Molly.
You sure like a ball. I'm just saying, little Richard was on to something there. He was on something.
Somebody say Molly.
I'll tell you, he was on something. Kurt Copeland will be on the open mic 4 to 7 at Uncle Al's in Jerseyville. And as Big George pointed out, you never know what's going to happen at an open mic. Give it a shot. You might turn out to be a gig.
You might get a standing ovation.
You might get a standing
Free
ovation.
food and drinks. You
Free
just
food and
never
drink.
know.
That's right.
Nothing like bringing down the house out of nowhere. And that's why Big George likes that story. It's like there's no better feeling, is there?
No better feeling. That's why I'm on my way to Iowa.
I'll bring it down again.
I'm going to burn the house down.
Also, go ahead. Also,
we got the Rockabilly Revival, 2 to 6 p.m. at the Grafton Winery on Sunday. Then Jake Weber and the Lonesome Drifter, 6 p.m. at the Hog Pit in Grafton. Sticking in Grafton, the Soulard Blues Band, 6 p.m. at the Loading Dock. And then Exit 52, 7 p.m. at the Oyster Bar, right down the road after midnight, 2 to 6 p.m. at the Grafton Pub. And then the Zydeco Crawdaddies, 2 p.m. at Aries Winery in Grafton. That is a lot going on in Grafton right there. I'm telling you what, that's a Sunday afternoon in the Key West of the Midwest.
And Plastic Kings, 3 to 7 at Long Shot Tiki Bar in Portage de Sioux on Sunday. And there's some shows on Monday, too, especially up in Grafton and places that normally don't do shows on Monday. So, because, that could be like a 4-day weekend for some people, I guess.
Oh, we're going to call it a 5-day weekend. I'm just taking tomorrow off.
Yeah.
I suggest everyone else does the same. Big George likes the idea.
Hey, I agree.
I think I'm going to have to take a day after this show. This is hard work.
He's getting out of town. He's like, I'm headed to Iowa. These guys, man, get me in trouble, man.
Yeah. And going up to the slippery noodle.
Well, no, the noodle's in Indy, so I'll have to postpone that trip.
I just like that name, the slippery
The
noodle.
slippery noodle.
That's a good name.
Well, I'm going to have some new names for you when I come back from Iowa. So I'm sure I'll have some interesting stories to tell.
Now, you're going to be at Shea, Maryland's on July 24th, right? Are you doing that with NGK, right?
Yes, NGK. Mm-hmm. Oh, yes, most definitely. We'll be at the loading dock on the 23rd on that Friday, and then we'll be at Shea, Maryland's, of course, on Saturday. And then the next weekend, we have a triple header. We'll be at Hammerstone's on that Friday. And then that Saturday, the 31st, we'll be at the Grafton Winery, and then back at the loading dock for the 1st of August on Sunday.
Yeah.
Now, where can people go to find out that information? Your Facebook page?
Facebook page, NGK Band, capital N, capital G, capital K, Band. And you'll see us. Follow the page, like it. And all we put on our Facebook page is upcoming events. So we don't put a lot of gibberish and all that kind of carrying on. It's just direct to the point where we're going to be. So, it's no secret, you'll know where to find us. We're easy to find.
We won't bother you with other stuff.
No.
We will tell you where we are playing.
And it's
up to you to tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend.
That's it.
To get out and see the NGK band.
That's it. In a nutshell.
in a nutshell.
Somebody say Molly.
Good time, Miss Molly. Ooh, I share like a ball. What are we talking about? I'm so confused.
I'm confused.
Good times.
Hey,
Good times.
I wanted to mention before we scoot out of here, our buddy TJ Hernandez, his release Scars.
Yeah.
You can get some advanced action on that now on Facebook.
Nice.
Our buddies Flatliner are headed to the Ozarks on Sunday for a show, so that ought to be good. Look out, Ozarks.
Oh, yeah, man.
Right?
Those guys are going to throw down for you down. If you like your country music with some attitude, they're going to give it to you.
Yeah, so that's
And,
cool.
well, good time. Attitude makes it sound all mean. No, a good timing attitude. Yeah.
Right, yeah,
Attitude to have some fun.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. All right. Well, hey, big thanks to Big George Brock Jr., self-proclaimed king of the blues.
Where's the self-proclaimed?
Generation 2.
Self-proclaimed encyclopedia of the blues.
It's a self-proclaimed encyclopedia of the blues.
Yes.
Yeah, so thanks so much for coming down, my brother.
Well, I
and hanging out with us.
appreciate you guys having me. And then, like I said to the fans out there, the NGK band, if you want to hear us, go to your local vendor. Let them know, when you coming to Fast Daddies, when you coming to Big Daddies, when you coming over here, when you coming. All you have to do is just mention the name to them, tell them to reach out to us. We'd love to come and see you.
All you people out there in Collinsville, you want to see Big George Brock Jr. come play Who Dats. Because they got some good bands playing there.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, you'd play Collinsville?
Yes.
See, there you go.
It's not a problem.
I'm thinking about Fast Eddie's.
Fast
Eddie's.
Eddie's.
Let's see
Exactly.
that.
All
Let's
these
see
years,
that
and
action.
me and Lil Eddie been friends for years. So it's.
Come
I'm just waiting. I've been waiting for a phone call,
Let's wait
and I
till-
have a horn section that I can hire, so it's not a problem.
Let's wait till about 3 a.m. and we're going to roll up and knock on his front door. Eddie, why don't you hire George?
That'd probably work.
Oh, I hope he might come out with a gun. Eddie's going to come out with a gun for sure, but
Oh, that's my buddy. I wouldn't do him like that, but he knows about the band, and like I tell people, it's word of mouth.
Yes,
absolutely. Word of mouth. Your website, at Cottonmouth, word of mouth, spreads, and that's the best advertisement in the world.
absolutely spreads like a STD. Oh wait, no. It spreads
Like chicken pox.
like chicken pox. There we go.
You do that on purpose so you get it when you're young, right?
Spreads like a virus. So I don't know. Hey, let's spread on out of here. We're gonna say thanks again to Mr. Big George Brock Jr. for coming down and talking to us. Special thanks, of course, to Michael Kreider, who sponsors our engineer Alex Honky. He's with Farmers Insurance, and Halpin Music has been sponsoring us from day
I want to
one.
tell you about their music camp.
Okay, let's
Right?
talk about
That's
let's
July
hear about it.
12th to the 15th for ages 6 to 10. It starts at noon and goes to 1. For ages 11 to 17, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m.
There you go.
So there you go. And I didn't see a price on that, so it might be a free thing. I don't know. You need to look into it at their Facebook page, and Lindsay Folsom going to be putting that on.
Either way, it's keeping the kids making more music. Get the
Right.
youngsters making
That's
music.
why I wanted to point that out.
Yeah, so thanks to Halpin Music for doing that. Also, super
They got
big thanks
Big George
to
Brock started.
They did. There
Yeah.
you go. They got most of the people started to come through here. So let's not forget Matt Van Voors of Macias Insurance. Thanks for the sponsorship. Thanks for the insurance. Thanks to all of you listeners out there, and do your homework between now and next week. Get out and support local music and art.